and with me is Jennifer Gleich, Brother National Educator.
Hi.
Hey, thank you for coming on the show today. We have
Oh,
something
you're
very
so welcome.
cute.
I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, yes, me too. I love getting ready for the holidays, and you have a very fun project that we're going to show.
I do. Would you like to see it?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, if any of you know me, you know I love Christmas, and I'm the Disney adult in your group. So, I put some Disney together with some Christmas, and I came up with a little holiday advent calendar that you can display in your living room or on your mantle, and you can count down the days to Christmas using a little bit of Disney magic.
Yay. I love that. It's so cute. So
So we're
cute.
gonna, oops. So we're gonna use our Luminaire XP3 and our ScanNCut
Oh
to
my
put
gosh.
this little project together.
That's so exciting. So yeah, let me just make one quick announcement. At the very end of this
Of course.
broadcast, we're going to be doing a $50 allbrands.com e-gift card giveaway. So go ahead and comment hashtag allbrands to be eligible for that. Also, the machines that we're going to be showing today are I just had them up. Oh, here we go. The
Because we're live.
features from the Luminaire XP3, the SDX Disney ScanNCut 330D. And for those of you who are just, looking, shopping for Christmas, guess what? Financing starts this Friday, October 7th through the 24th. 2022, and that's on any new Brother purchase over 5,000. And you can visit any one of our 7 retail locations to take advantage of those awesome deals that we have going on. But guess what? We're going to also have some awesome deals if you're going to come to the Houston International Quilt Festival. That is November 3rd through the 6th, 2022. AllBrands is going to be running the Brother booth. We're going to have a ScanNCut section that's going to be amazing. Designs and Machine Embroidery is going to be with us. So Steady Westerly, Laura Starr, Brewer, and more. We have tons of educators that are going to be there. Oh my goodness. Angela Wolf, Cindy Hogan, Wendy Chow, and all of these amazing folks on here. So this year, we're actually on the front row. This is in Houston, Texas, at the George R. Brown Convention Center. We are on the front row, right next to the main entrance. So very easy in and out. You can come see us at our booth. We just can't wait to see you there. So yay, lots of fun stuff coming. And so, yeah, so Jennifer, originally we were going to do an advent calendar, and then we kind of switched it up.
Yeah,
And
we were going to do this like a little like table topper, and we switched it up to an advent calendar
yeah,
because I thought everyone loves to count down to Christmas, right? Because I do.
exactly.
So so I
Very,
put this together, and I really, really thought it came out very cute and shows off a lot of the features that make you need the Luminaire in your life.
yay. I have the Luminaire in my life, and I'm a very happy person.
And you're very happy. Yes.
All right, well, let's get started. If
All
you
right.
guys have questions along the way, go ahead and ask them in the comments. I'm here, I'm saving them, and I'll ask Jennifer live during the show. So take it away, Jennifer.
All right. So I'm going to switch my camera, and I'm going to go over to my tabletop and show you just to start the supplies that you're going to need. So let me just make sure this works while I'm live here.
While you're doing that, I can pull up some comments too. Oh, look, Mary J says, looking forward to Houston and meeting everyone. We hope to see you too, Mary. All right, Jennifer,
All
take it
right.
away.
So for our project, we are going to need a piece of, I like poly mesh stabilizer. So I have a piece piece, a piece of 20 inches by 20 inches of poly mesh. I have a piece of 20 inches by 20 inches of just a cotton batting that I had. Whatever batting that you like to do your quilting with will work. Then I have a piece of white background fabric. It is cut 9.5 by 9.5 inches. I have 2 pieces of my border fabric cut 2.5 by 9.5. 2 other pieces of border fabric cut 2.5 by 13.5. 1 piece of backing that's cut 12 by 12. Then I have 2 pieces of just some 1-inch craft ribbon. I picked up some ribbon that had little snowflakes on it, and I've cut those to 1 3/4 inches each. You're going to need, of course, your embroidery thread, some sewing thread, and then I use the little hook and loop fasteners. These are the self-adhesive ones that you can get at the craft store or the fabric store. I use those to attach the Mickey to the front of my advent calendar so that I can easily change the numbers out every day. Finally, you need a piece of, I have some glittery heat transfer vinyl here. That's what we're going to cut our numbers out of. And then I have some craft felt. We are going to show you how to cut the craft felt with your ScanNCut using the new rotary blade.
We have a comment from Christy Gray. She says that fabric is so festive. Love it. I agree.
Oh, I agree. I thought it was really fun. So I thought we would start our project by just doing all of the machine work. Setting up our project in the Luminaire, setting up our project, sending our design from the ScanNCut. So I'm going to do one quick camera change here. And let me know if you can see that okay.
Looks like we can see it pretty good.
Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is the Merry Christmas that's at the top of our advent calendar is actually a built-in design on the ScanNCut. And I'm going to send that to my Luminaire using the My Connection feature that links our ScanNCut with our Luminaire. So we can send built-in designs from the ScanNCut to the Luminaire, and we can send designs, embroidery designs, applique designs. We can send those from the Luminaire over to the ScanNCut to cut our applique pieces. So to do that, I'm going to go to the left of my screen, and I'm going to choose the My Connection icon, and I'm going to choose Send. I'm going to get one of the built-in patterns, and I'm going to go into the category that has the text, and there are 2 subcategories in here. I'm going to go into the first one, and you can see there's lots of different words to choose from. I'm going to scroll all the way down until I find the Merry Christmas. There it is. I'm going to select the Merry Christmas. I'm not going to worry about the size right now. I'm going to actually be able to size that to what I need once I bring it up in the Luminaire. So I'm just going to hit set, and that goes and puts it on our mat. Now, if you'll notice, there is a grayed out area on the right here, and if I scroll down, there's a grayed out area on the bottom. That represents the actual largest hoop on our Luminaire, which is 10 5/8 by 16. So I could add several designs and send them all at once if I wanted to. But in this case, I'm just going to send our Merry Christmas. So from here, all I have to do is hit transfer. Now it's going to give me a message, and all this message means is I can only transfer one design or one time between the Luminaire and the ScanNCut at a time. So it will only hold one thing in the cloud. So it's just saying I have something in the cloud. Do you want to overwrite it? Yes, that's okay with me. I'm going to hit OK. And it is going to transfer to my Luminaire.
This is magic.
It's letting me know it finished. It's there. So now another quick camera change.
One quick question while you're changing your cameras.
Of
Mary
course.
J. Bailey asked, when you were talking about my connection, she, I guess, commented it's designed also on the 325 SDX 325, which is the one that you have in your studio.
Yes,
So
that is the one that I'm using.
Yeah, 325 and 330DX. Oh, Lady Fair says, I love my connection. So easy to use. I'm so happy to hear that.
It is
And
so easy to use.
she also said, be sure to give thumbs up to this video. Thank you, Lady.
All right, so I'm back at my Luminaire. And I'm at the home screen. So the first thing I want to do before I want to go in to get my Merry Christmas is we're going to design this all in my design center. So when I'm designing something in my design center, I like to have a grid on my background. So I'm going to go into the machine settings. If it likes I might have to do this with my finger. There we go. And I'm going to find the page, and I'm going to apologize. There are 13 setting pages, and I don't have everything memorized, but I am going to find the page where I can actually add a grid. So I'm going to be using the 10 by 10 magnetic hoop, which is our new magnetic hoop. And I am going to turn my grid on to 1 inch and touch OK. This just makes it easier visually when I'm trying to make sure I place everything correctly within the parameters of what I'm designing. So I'm going to go into my design center, and I'm going to get a message on my machine. It's just going to move the embroidery unit for me. That's okay. Now I'm going to go into shapes. And while I'm in here, I do want to point out some of the new features of the update and upgrade. So in the update that just came out this last August, in my design center, all of our shapes are now numbered, which is really nice. So if you're working with someone on a project, you can refer to the shape that you use by number. So I am going to just choose number 1. And I'm at a funny angle because I'm trying not to hit the camera, so that's why it's not taking my stylus right away. And I've got my square. Now I'm going to go into size, and I'm going to size my square. Now the square is not going to stitch. We're going to get to that a little later, but I'm going to use the square as another guide for placing all of my elements of my design. So I'm going to size my square using another new feature in my design center. We could size it here, sizing it proportionally, or I can go into a new 10 key, and I can actually tell the machine what size I want my square to be. So I'm going to make it 8.5 by 8.5 set, and I'm going to hit OK. So that to me is a lot easier than holding the proportion key and waiting to try to get to exactly what I need. So now I have my shape. I'm going to go back into shapes, and can you see the top of the screen there? To the very far right, we have a little icon that looks like our ScanNCut. So when we transfer something from my connection, it's going to go into my design center, and it's going to show up under our little ScanNCut. So So it's going to pop in. The first item on this page is going to be the last thing that you sent over. So there's our Merry Christmas. I'm going to hit OK. And there it is. I'm going to go into size. And this time I am going to use the proportion. And I'm going to size it till it is, increase the size till it is 7 wide and 2.2 inches tall. And I'm going to hit OK. Now I'm going to take that and I'm going to move it. And if you can see on the screen, I'm going to move it till the red box is lined up with that first line under my 8.5-inch square. Can you see that, Barbara?
Yes, we can see that.
Sometimes I don't know how much is really being shown on the camera. So now I'm going to go in my region properties. And I'm going to leave it at red. I'm actually going to leave it as the embroidery fill stitch. And I'm going to choose the paint bucket here. That is going to tell the machine that I want to fill in the entire inside of Merry Christmas. So I'm going to choose just touch inside Merry Christmas. And because of my angle here, there we go. So Merry Christmas is filled in. I'm going to go into the line properties now. And I am going to choose the triple stitch. And I'm going to leave it at black. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to fill the paint bucket. Again, that tells the machine to apply it not just to where I touch, but the entire outline. So I'm going to touch the outline of Merry Christmas. But the trick here is there are inside lines that you have to touch as well. So I have to touch the inside of the A. And the E. And if I need to zoom in, I'm just going to use my finger. I can turn the hand on and I can move my screen around. Then I can touch the inside. And if I've already touched it, you can hear that it will knock at me, meaning I've already done it. So I'm going to go back to 100%. And now I'm going to touch next. So on this screen, you can see I missed one of the sections of the outline. So I'm going to go return and then touch it and then go back. So there's our Merry Christmas. It's outlined in the black. The final thing I'm going to do is, because this is going to be a dense stitch out on our little advent calendar, I want to make sure that we don't see the fabric underneath. So right here, I'm going to turn on my understitching or undersewing, and I'm going to touch OK. I'm going to hit set. It's going to say it's going to convert it to an embroidery pattern. Is that okay? We're going to say yes. And now I'm going to add the word days so that we have our days next to our Mickey. So I'm going to go to add, and I'm going to go to text. And on our Luminaire, we have 2 new fonts with the Luminaire XP3. They're really pretty script fonts. So I chose font number 24. And I'm going to write the word days with a capital D. And then I'm going to go to lowercase. And then here we have our punctuation. I'm going to add an exclamation point, and I'm going to hit set. Now I'm going to go to edit, and I'm going to rotate. Actually, I'm going to size it first. I'm going to go to size, and I'm going to use the proportion, and I'm going to size my word up until it is about 3 inches tall. Oops. Sorry, not 3 inches tall. 4.44 inches wide. Close enough. We're going to hit OK. Now I'm going to hit rotate, and I'm going to rotate it 20 degrees to the left, and I'm going to take and I'm going to move it over to it's down in this bottom right quadrant of my wall hanging. And you can see that box that we added is kind of guiding me on where I want it to stitch. It's kind of an extra layer of protection so that I'm not going to stitch over my seam allowance on my wall hanging. Now, this is the way I do things, and someone may have a different way, but this is the way I put the project together. So now we have our days. That's looking pretty good to me. Now I'm going to touch just in an empty area. And I want to show another new feature of the XP3. We have something called a no-sew feature, which means in any embroidery design that you bring up, you can choose elements of that design should you not want to stitch them. So in this case, I don't want to stitch that black outline that I've got around my Merry Christmas. So I'm going to touch my no-sew, and I'm going to choose that part, and I'm just going to touch down here, and it turns it off. So I don't have to go in and skip that step. We just tell the machine we don't want to stitch that step. So now our wall hanging inside of our block is complete. I'm going to go ahead and hit memory. I'm going to save it to the machine, and we're ready to embroider. But first, we need to quilt our background. So I'm going to switch cameras again. So if there are any questions while I'm doing that.
Okay, I will come in, and let's see here what questions we have. So if you haven't asked yet, go ahead and ask. We have some comments that came in that were so cute. Here's one question from, well, not a question. Barbara Jones said, "Isn't that hoop almost as miraculous as my connection? I love mine." And she was
I have to tell you, ever since I got the hoop, it's kind of the only hoop I use.
Is that the magnetic hoop that you're referring to?
Yes, so I agree.
That's the 10.5 square new magnetic hoop from Brother.
10 inches by 10 inches.
Okay, yeah, that's amazing. And Doris asks, does this work with other sewing machines? Currently just the XP3 Luminaire.
Yes, I mean, you have my design center on the Stellaire and the prior Dream Machine, but you don't have the My Connection or the No Sew feature. Those are Luminaire exclusive features.
Great questions. Jenny says the new features are fantastic. I agree, Jenny.
Okay, so back at my pieces here with a little bit of camera magic. I have my pieces put together. I just stitched the 9.5 by 2.5 pieces inch pieces to either end of my white square, pressed them, and then did the same with the 13.5-inch pieces. I've layered this with my, let me move this hook and loop tape so it doesn't get stuck all over everything. I'm going to layer that with my poly mesh and my batting. And then I've used a little bit of spray adhesive just to tack this down on my batting. And this is ready for quilting. So I'm going to get my hoop. This is the 10-inch by 10-inch magnetic hoop. I am going to hoop my quilt. We're going to do some edge-to-edge quilting on our Luminaire. So that is another wonderful new feature on our machine. So I'm going to hoop this in here using the magnets. I usually do top and bottom. And then side to side. Putting the large magnets on first, and then the small magnets. The magnets have a little arrow on them. I don't know if you can see that, but that goes in towards the center of your hoop. So I've got my 4 magnets on. I'm going to go back over to my other camera. And let me show you how the edge to edge works. So I'm going to go home. We've saved our design, so I'm just going to hit OK. I'm going to go back into embroidery. And we have a category Q. That is our quilt embroidery category. So if we touch that, we have our auto block sashing. Subcategory 1 is single color sashing. Subcategory 2 is 2-color sashing. Subcategory 3 is our hexagon sashing. And then we have a new category, subcategory, and this is our edge-to-edge quilting, and it works amazing. So I'm going to go into that, and because we have snowflakes and this is Christmas, I chose, of course, the snowflake pattern. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to hit set, and this is how easy this is to do. You're going to enter the dimensions of your quilt. So we're just doing a little tiny table topper, but I could do a quilt all the way up to basically a king size quilt, 118 inches by 118 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the dimensions. So I'm going to go 13.5 inches wide. And then I'm going to go 13.5 inches tall or long. Now notice it's telling me here how many hoopings I'm going to have. I'm going to be hooping 2 pieces by 1 row if I was using the 10 5/8 by 16 hoop. But I'm going to use my 10 by 10 hoop because I love the magnetic hoop. So here I can tell the machine which hoop I want to use. So when I go to the 10 by 10 hoop, notice that I've got 3 pieces across now and 2 rows. So I'm going to actually rehoop my little quilt 6 times. The magnets on the magnetic hoop make it super easy to rehoop your quilt. There's one last option, and that is a flip. So when I go into flip, you can see that the pattern is going to repeat exactly the same under the first option. If I touch mirror image, You see how it changed? Now my pattern has mirror imaged on itself. If I choose the third option, it's actually changed back. But if I choose the fourth option, it changes again. So when you get a long arm quilt done, or when you get your quilt done by a long arm quilter, or you do it on a long arm, it goes all the way across. Sometimes you don't want it to be exactly the same every time. So you have the option here to change the flip option. So I'm going to change it so that my snowflakes, I think I like it like that. So however you like it, you tell the machine, you hit OK, and you're going to hit next. Now here's where it tells you there's going to be a total of 6 hoopings for the size of your quilt. You can change the color of the thread. I just leave it because I'm going to use the thread that I've already chosen. And then you can choose whether you want a single run of stitches or a triple run of stitches. So how dense you want your quilting to look on your quilt, you can tell the machine. I'm going to leave it as single, and I'm going to hit memory. It's going to save that into the machine's memory. I'm going to hit OK. And you can see I've been kind of busy on my machine here. So the first one, just like in our design center, the first embroidery design that comes up is the last one we did. So I'm going to select that. And on this screen, I have 2 ways that I could stitch my edge to edge. I could select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 individually and use my projector to line it up myself. Or if I choose the first option and hit set, my machine is actually going to walk me through the edge-to-edge quilting process. So this is where I'm going to change my camera. So I have to move the camera. I want you to be able to see the way it stitches, and I don't want you to get motion sickness. So, uh-oh, I can't hear you, Barbara.
Oh, that's because I'm muted. Yeah, so I'll come in while you're changing your camera. Just let me know when you're ready, Jennifer.
Okay, sounds good. And I can answer questions.
Yeah, we've got some really great questions coming in. Kelly asked, how much are the hoops? So you'll have to contact your local dealer for pricing on the magnetic frames. Those prices can't be quoted digitally, unfortunately. Let's see here. Will my connection be... So currently, bringing a design wirelessly from the ScanNCut to the machine is just for the Luminaire XP3. We'll see which other machines are added to that. But currently, the XP2. Okay, great. And Fran says, love your shows. I wish I lived closer to you. Well, you can come visit us anytime, Fran. Come to the Houston Quilt Show, the best show of the year. Oh, look. Sharon said, I don't think I will ever be able to leave the AllBrands booth at the Houston Quilt Festival. Too many good educators.
We like to hear that.
Hopefully you can be with us next year, Jennifer.
I would love that. I've never been to Houston.
Oh my God.
I mean, I've been to Houston, but not to the Quilt Festival.
Christy says, Sharon Schroeder, same here. They will think we're weird stalkers. No, not at all. It's going to be tons of fun. My sister-in-law, Courtney, is going to be in the ScanNCut booth. And if you guys haven't seen her show yet, check out our YouTube channel. She does tons of ScanNCut tutorials. And this is her show. It's called AllBrands After Hours. And she, I think she just did a Halloween project recently, and it was super cute. So you ready, Jennifer? Not quite.
Just trying to raise my camera just a little bit.
Let's see if there's any more questions. Here's one from Mary. I don't quite understand, but maybe can flip on edge to edge be used on patterns bringing into the Lumi, or is it limited to built-ins? So there's
right now we've got the 10 built-in edge to edge. So
Great.
This doesn't work with any other purchase designs.
Everybody's been commenting how great this tutorial is. Lady Fair says, I cannot wait to try this. Aw.
Okay, so I think I have it ready, so we'll see if I can do this.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to attach my hoop. The way you attach the magnetic hoop is you want to leave a little bit of room here on the corner so that you can just slide your embroidery foot through, and then you're just going to slide it in just like your other hoops and lock it in place. I have threaded the machine with some light blue thread, and I'm going to try to do some camera work here without moving the camera too fast. Try to go back to my screen a little bit. I don't know if this is going to work. This is the hard part, because I want you to see that the machine walks you through everything. Okay.
I'm muted.
There you go.
But I wanted to say before we switch back, Kelly Smith made a comment. Houston Quilt Show isn't just for quilters, y'all. There's tons of machines and hand embroidery, heirloom, knitting, just about all the crafts we love. Yes, Kelly.
Sounds like you'd have to bring an extra suitcase.
Yeah. Okay, back to you.
All right. So on the screen here, let me try to stand out of here. So it tells me how to hoop my machine, or how to hoop my quilt, sorry. And I'm going to touch OK. And then it's going to tell me that it's going to project down. It's basically a grid or a little crosshair that I'm going to line up at the very corner of my quilt. So if you can see here, it's telling me this is the corner of my quilt. That's where I'm going to line up that crosshair. So I'm going to touch OK. And I'm going to do it.
And while you do that, I'm going to come in.
Sorry about that. Let's see.
Wow. Very cool.
Can you see
I love the crosshair. It's like a little T.
Yes. So you can see it. Oh, good. I got it.
Yay.
Okay. So there's the crosshair. You can see here. And on the screen, it brings up the layout menu with arrows where I can actually move the embroidery foot or that crosshair into position. So I want to move my crosshair over right to the corner of my quilt here. So I'm going to use the arrows on my screen. And I've moved it right so that my corner of my quilt is right in the crosshair there. Now I'm going to hit OK. Now the machine is telling me that I'm going to use the rotate keys. It's going to give me a second crosshair at the top to line up with the top of my quilt. So if you put your quilt in the hoop and it's not exactly straight, it's okay. The machine is going to compensate for that. You get to tell the machine exactly where the top of your quilt is. So I'm going to hit OK. It's going to move it up here. You can see the crosshair. I'm a little crooked because my crosshair is actually on my quilt. So I have some rotation options on my screen. And I can actually move my quilt or move the crosshair up until I get it exactly where I want it. Can you see that?
Yes.
All right. So
Judith?
now I'm going to hit OK.
Judith just asked a question.
Sure.
She said, I like your pen. Where can I get one? That is a new pen that's available. It comes with the XP3 and XP3 upgrade.
Yes.
And we also will have it available for sale in the stores and at Houston Quilt Festival. I think they're just arriving.
Yes, it's our fine tip stylus. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit stitch. I'm going to hit the green button and let the stitch zoom out a little bit. Oh, out. I'm a sewist. I'm not a videographer, so I apologize.
The machines are so much easier to use than cameras. Even though the machine has a camera in it.
They really are.
Very cool. I love edge to edge. Because I'm just not I haven't quite grasped free motion on my own on a quilt that I've spent so much.
And I have a long arm, and this makes it so easy.
I know. I can watch my movies when I do this.
Exactly.
Sharon says, wow, so easy. Yes, it is. Here's a question from Kelly Smith. She's asked, do you change the weight of your top thread or bobbin when quilting as opposed to embroidery?
In this instance, I'm just using some, it's the Brother Simplicity Pro embroidery thread for my top thread. And my bottom thread is just the Brother bobbin thread. I have quilted quilts, and when I do a larger quilt, I've used just some cotton quilting thread, and then I use some finer, like bottom line quilting thread in the bobbin.
Yeah.
So it's really what your preference is.
Yeah, with these line designs, you can totally use cotton thread.
Yes.
Even though it's embroidering.
So now it's stitched it, and it's actually going to stitch a little crosshair so that I can line up later. It gives me a place to line up.
Oh, okay. I'm loving the comments, everyone. Keep them coming.
All right, so I'm going to change my camera again, Barbara. So
okay, you wanna coming in.
Not do everyone nauseous.
Elizabeth, we miss you near our Houston shop too. You should come and join us. Louisville, Kentucky. That sounds fun. Maybe one day. Hopefully.
Okay.
Well,
so here, on my screen,
all right,
it's telling me the embroidery is finished. Do you want to connect the next pattern or the next section of your quilting? And I'm going to hit OK. It's going to come up, and again, it's going to tell me exactly how to rehoop my fabric so that I can connect the next design. Now I'm going to ask you, Barbara, do you want me to connect the next design, or shall we move on looking at the time?
I'm muted again. It's up to you guys. Why don't we just start it real quick? We don't have to sew it all out, but we can show how it connects. I think that that's really cool.
Okay, so I'm going to have to rehoop it. So if you want to take me out of the screen.
Okay. We had
to
We
answer
had
questions. Do
a
that.
comment. Oh, Margie, we can't wait to see you at Houston Quilt Festival too. My goodness, I'm so excited. Someone asked about the 10-inch square. It looks like those just arrived. I think we're still waiting on those styluses though, but we have a lot of inventory coming in. If it's not in already, I know we got a big shipment in at the beginning of this week. So it'll be getting to stores very soon. Oh my gosh. I love it. You want to know what I did here on this quilt? This is a quilt that I pieced together. I just had some random fabric collection that I bought. I didn't really have an idea. And I was like, well, let me just kind of fussy cut it and then put it together. And then I wanted to do free motion on the top, but I didn't want to actually move the machine and move the fabric. So I actually put this in my 10 needle machine, and I pulled up another edge to edge designer, and I top stitched my quilt in my 10 needle embroidery machine, and it was so easy. Love it. Aw, thank you, Renee. I appreciate it. I need to put one of my newer quilts up here. I haven't switched it out lately. Aw, thank you so much. Yeah, let us know what you're working on. Yeah, this is neat, Gwen. I love it. It's just so cool that the embroidery machine will do all of the quilting for you.
Does all the bath for you and everything.
I know. Ooh, this looks cool. Wow.
Okay.
I love the projector.
So I have rehooped the fabric. So my ending line is right here. This is where the pattern ended. And so now it's going to tell me how to line up the next section. So I've rehooped just as it said on the screen. I'm going to hit OK. And on the screen, I have a message that says, use the move pattern keys to align the start point with the end point of your last pattern. So I'm going to hit OK. And you can see the little crosshair there. Again, I've got the arrow keys on the screen, and I am going to just move that crosshair so it's right on top of where my last pattern ended. This is how easy it is, guys.
It's magic.
Okay, so I've got it. Now I'm going to hit OK. Now it says use the rotate keys to adjust the angle of the pattern while keeping an eye on the points around the pattern. So again, if you are not hooped absolutely straight, it's okay. We have a rotate option. So up here at the top, I can see my projected line, and I can see it's just a smidge off. So I'm going to move my design up just a few clicks, 0.0 or 0.1% till I have it where I like it. And I'm going to hit OK. And I'm just going to hit go. And it's going to start right where it left off. Of course, it's going to unthread the thread because why not? We're live.
This is a great chance to show everybody how awesome Brother Needle Threaders are.
So I'm going to rethread the Brother Needle or the needle.
Ooh, so easy.
And then if you're familiar with our machines, I'm going to hit the needle plus minus on the screen and just go back to the beginning and hit go. So it actually went right in, my needle went right in where the last stitch of the last design was. That's how easy that is.
It's beautiful. Oh, Beth says, this is a rewatch and save.
Yes.
And Erin says, yes, you're right. So if you guys haven't done this yet, please subscribe to our channel on Facebook and YouTube. We're at AllBrands 1976. Oh, Christy says the snowflake design is so elegant. I bet it would be gorgeous in a metallic thread.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Silver or gold, depending on what your Christmas theme is. So easy, love it. Oh my goodness. Beth says tomorrow's going to be cold and rainy. Guess what I'm going to do?
I bet I can guess.
I love rainy days and really hot days, and it's
Days that you don't want to be out in the elements.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what looks really great too? Variegated thread with
yes, I love variegated threads.
And you can use embroidery variegated thread. They also have some cotton. If you're some folks say, if you're quilting on cotton, then you have to use cotton thread so that it degrades at the same rate that the cotton fabric does. But really, I don't think it matters too much. Whatever you prefer using, as long as it brings you joy.
So you can see it's going to make another little crosshair for me so that when I get to that second row, I have something to line up my pattern with. And you're just going to go through your quilt, whatever size quilt you're doing. It's the same steps every time until you get to the end, and it's perfect.
Yeah. You know what I do? I set it up and I let it stitch, and then I do some piecing in between.
There you go. Exactly.
Exactly.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and switch cameras.
Okay. And
I'm not going to finish this on screen. I'll finish it later.
Yeah. So currently with the XP3 Luminaire, there are 10 built-in edge-to-edge designs that you can do this function with. I'm sure in the future maybe they may add more, but they are super cute if you get a chance to look at them. There's a very good variety of different options for you there.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this. I don't have to worry. I can go back to it because I do have my little crosshairs that the machine has done for me. So I can go back and finish this later. So I'm going to take this out of the hoop and set it aside. And wouldn't you know it, I have one already stitched for us.
Ah, magic.
Magic. So I am going to just visually center this in my hoop. So got it in the hoop. You can use your magnets the same way. I'm telling you, I love this hoop. I love, love, love this hoop. So fast and easy. You don't have to worry. Your quilt is not going to pop out. You can do all the layers of your quilt. In this case, we're just doing the top layer for this project. Okay, so I'm going to take this back to my machine.
Okay. While she switches cameras, I'll come in. The crosshairs are awesome, Erin. Yes, I agree. Very pretty. That hoop looks incredible. It looks like we just got some in stock. So if you're local, please come by, and we'll be transferring those to stores pretty soon. We have a very limited supply. Let's see. Oh, someone says it's better done than perfect. Yes. But when the machine sews it out perfectly, that works out too, right?
And that's bonus.
Yeah.
Okay. So
here's a question
mhm.
from someone on our Sew Forum group. Do you have to take the hoop off the machine when rehooping, or can you just remove the magnets and move the fabric?
So this one is not like the well, actually, you could take the bottom and the top and slide
Mhm.
your fabric. So if you took these ones and the ones in the back, you could pull your fabric through. For this little project, I took it off, each time because I've only left so much around the edge to pull. So I rehooped each time. Now, if you get really good at it, though, you could get it lined up where you're the last piece that it quilted is, near the edge here, and you might be able to get two of your designs without having to hoop 3 times.
All right. So Barbara Jones says, I remember how nervous I was because they have a 14x7 sashing frame. And how I had to force myself to unwrap it. Now I don't know what I would do without them.
They are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have our quilt in the frame centered. I'm going to just rotate over here to my screen. We're going to go into embroidery. We're going to go into our pocket. That's where our files that we've saved are. And we're going to go back to our Merry Christmas here. And I'm going to hit set. Now I noticed there's one thing I did not do. I didn't change the days to green. If you wanted it to be green, you could go to edit, go to the color change, touch green. Oops, that's for the Merry Christmas. I chose the wrong one. I want to go here. And I could see, I should have done it. That's the no sew one. So we're going to choose green for all of our letters. If visually it will remind you to change to the right color, you could go in here and change if you wanted to. So now we have our Merry Christmas. So I am going to hit embroidery. And then I'm going to move the camera one more time, very slowly. We're going to use the projector. I'm going to turn on the projector on the screen, which it's above layout and it looks like a little cone. And that's going to project my image down, or my design. And I don't know. Can you see it?
Yes, it's so vivid.
Yes. So what I love about the projector is with the new update, they have enhanced the colors and the speed of the projector. So actually, when I move it around on the screen, I don't have to wait for it to catch up with itself. So if I move it up to the top here, where Merry Christmas is, did you notice I didn't get a spinning wheel? It just
Yes,
went ahead and showed me the Merry Christmas.
I love that.
So I have my ruler. Now I could use my snowman sticker, but in this case, I just took my little ruler and put it here. And for this project, because I can see instantaneously now with the projector, I just moved it so that my Merry Christmas is about 1 inch from both sides and 1 inch from the top, because I don't have to wait for it to catch up with itself. And you can see it right on your project.
Oh
And then
my
I'm going to
goodness.
count the days and just make sure that my exclamation point is at a distance that I'm okay with. And then I'm ready to stitch. So I would just stitch that out. I'm not going to stitch it. It's a 25-minute stitch out. But
that is amazing. Well, we
wanted to
can do
show
some
the
magic.
Yes. So I'm going to change cameras and we'll show how to finish up the project.
Wonderful. While you're changing cameras, Christy says, ha ha, could we make one of these for Countdown to Houston Quilt Festival? Of course. That sounds like a great idea.
You could use the little sewing machine in the ScanNCut. You could use that instead of the Mickey head.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
All right.
Sally says the projector makes it so much easier for placing. I agree too.
All right, so I have one stitched out here, and I've taken my 2 little pieces of ribbon and folded them in half, and I've used my ruler and I've measured and stitched them, just tacked them down here 3 inches from the edge, from each edge. I'm hoping you can see that. Maybe I need to come down a little bit. Okay. Then I'm going to take my 12-inch piece of fabric. I'm going to go right sides together, and I would clip this all the way around. And I'm going to stitch this starting at the bottom. I'm going to leave an opening at the bottom. I'm going to just stitch this all the way around at 1/4 inch, back stitch, leave their opening, back stitch at either end. I have one magically already stitched.
Wow.
And my scissors have disappeared, but of course they have. So once I have it stitched, I'm just going to clip my corners. And then I'm going to turn it inside out. Now you could, if you wanted to, you could layer this and quilt it and put a traditional binding on it if you wanted to do it that way. Whatever way you'd like to finish this. So I'm going to turn it inside out. I would give this a good press. I would press my opening closed here. And then you could choose to do a stitch in the ditch around the outside of the white center. I stitched about 1/8 inch all the way around just to close that opening. And then I stitched another 1/4 inch all the way around to give it a double top stitch, and I stitched 1/4 inch around on the project that we have finished.
Yes.
Let me grab that and put it on camera here. So I've just done some stitching. You can see I don't know if you can see because I use black thread, but double stitch around the edge, 1 stitch around here. And then the last part is making our numbers. So the numbers actually came from Canvas Workspace. And we've cut them with felt on the SDX 330D using the rotary blade. So that's our last step, and I'll show you how to do that. And Barbara's going to help me with cutting the felt. So let me show you really quick where we get the Canvas Workspace project.
Okay.
So we want to switch.
Yeah, while you're pulling up the Canvas Workspace, I'll go ahead and show them how to cut it out on this ScanNCut SDX 330D.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, great. All right, so here we go. Magically, you're in Barbara's studio now, and we have the Brother Disney version of the ScanNCut. SDX 330D. And everybody asks a lot, how do I cut on felt? Which can be quite difficult. Well, in this machine, the SDX 330D, you get the new Brother rotary auto blade. And it's awesome, and it cuts so great. So you just put that in the machine, and I'll turn it on and zoom into the screen so that you can see it work its magic. So I'm going to let it load up. There we go. So you have a lever on the left-hand side of the machine right here that you'll put up to the second, because it's a thicker fabric that you're doing. So I'll zoom back into the screen. And in the machine, you have tons of wonderful patterns. But when it's a Disney version, you'll have Disney included inside of the machine. So there's tons of categories here, but the last category, Jennifer, I think is applique, correct?
That's correct. Those are applique designs.
And look how cute they are. Oh my goodness. So, and she chose on the second page, but I'll scroll through all of them so that you can see all of the precious applique. Look at these, how fun. We just chose the little Mickey head. We're gonna resize it to 4 inches wide.
Wide 4.5, yeah.
4.5.
And while you're at the machine, I see a question about the rotary blade being designed for the fabric mat. The rotary blade is actually designed to use with the low tack mat. I also use it with the standard mat because the rotary blade doesn't actually do a lot of rolling. It doesn't push against the fabric. It's designed to cut those harder to cut fabrics like felt, batting, plush fabrics, fleece. I've cut sequined fabric. I have cut swim knit fabric. It's those fabrics that would kind of move around the mat because the rotary blade kind of does this hop, and you'll see that here in a minute. It doesn't push. So because it doesn't push, you don't have to worry about it sliding around the mat.
So I'm just scanning my background fabric, even though it takes up the whole mat. I always just scan it so I know that my placement's correct.
I have my Barbara.
Rotary auto blade in there. I'm going to zoom in and just position it. Now that we can see the background fabric, I can move it to the spot that it needs to be. Click OK. We're going to, it does all these things, cut, draw, emboss, foil, and pierce. We're going to cut. And it's going to take about a minute, and I'll click start. And it's going to cut. All right. Did you want to switch to the numbers now?
Sure. Well, that's cutting real quick.
We'll come back to this whenever it's done, and I'll show you the finished product. Okay. So for the numbers, there you are.
So you can see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for this project, I got to thinking, well, if I do an advent calendar, I have all the built-in numbers on the ScanNCut. But then I thought, wow, that's a lot of numbers that I'm going to have to size and make sure they're going to fit on Mickey. And, you know, how many ones am I going to need? How many twos am I going to need? So I got to thinking, why don't I just go into Canvas Workspace? Canvas Workspace is the free, there's a web-based and a downloadable version of Brothers software that goes with the ScanNCut. And as you can see here on the home page,
I don't think your screen is shared.
Oh.
You'll have to click present at the bottom. But guess what? Okay. My Mickey just finished. So I'm going to switch over while you pull that up. And I'll show you my finished Mickey because he's so cute. All right. Oh my gosh, it cut perfectly. of course, it's perfect.
Woohoo!
Belt. Ah, can you believe it? So cute.
So cute.
Ah, and it was so easy. I use the low tack mat and the rotary auto blade that comes with the SDX 330D.
And if you don't have the SDX 330D, if you have one of the other SDX models, the SDX 325 or the two other prior SDX models, you can get the rotary blade for your machine. You can buy the rotary blade auto kit.
Cool. All right. Well, we have Canvas Workspace open.
All right. So I'm going to go into Canvas Workspace. As I said, it's Brother's free program. You can see here there's lots of free designs. They are uploaded. I don't know how frequently they're uploaded, but you've got designs for every holiday, every occasion you can imagine. So I thought to myself, let's see if there's an advent calendar. So I went to search and I typed in advent calendar. And two of them, wouldn't you know, popped up. So I grabbed this second one here. And when you bring up a project in Canvas Workspace, it brings up all of the elements to make that project. And look here, one of the elements is all of the numbers already formatted. I hit the jackpot. So I'm going to touch this little button here to bring it up so I can see it on the screen. It'll put it on my mat. There it is. And all I have to do is hit download. Because I have my ScanNCut connected to my Workspace account, I can hit ScanNCut transfer. And it has transferred those numbers over to my ScanNCut. So I'll show you real quick on my other camera how to bring those up. And the ScanNCut kind of went to sleep. So I'm going to go home and I am going to go to retrieve data and I'm going to retrieve it from the cloud. That's where it sends it from Workspace. There are all of the numbers. Can you see that? A little bit, hopefully.
Yeah, we can see that.
So I've got all the numbers. So now, because I'm going to put these on heat transfer vinyl and not regular vinyl, I have to do one more thing before I cut them. I have to mirror image them because when you cut heat transfer vinyl, you're going to turn it over and iron it. So you want your numbers to go the right direction. So the easiest way to do that, because I want to do all the numbers, is I'm going to hit edit. I'm going to touch the select key. I'm going to touch all of them. I'm going to hit OK. Go back into Object Edit. This is my mirror image key, and it's going to mirror image all my numbers for me. So I'm going to hit OK and OK. I have a piece of heat transfer vinyl on my standard mat, and I'm going to load that in. And I am using, I'm going to try to put this in front of the camera. I'm using the standard auto blade that comes with the machine. I'm going to hit scan. I'm going to let it, sorry, I must have moved the camera. And I have no idea if you can see that.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can. I'm going to darken it a little bit. There you can kind of see the scan of the, so now I can actually take those numbers and position them. I'm going to group them all together. One more, when I go into Object Edit, if I touch this, it'll put them all as one file. I could move them over to what I was going to cut, which is my heat transfer vinyl. And I'm actually going to rotate that whole thing. There we go. Now it fits on my vinyl. I'm going to hit OK, 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 OK. And then I'm going to go to please select. I'm going to choose cut. Now, when we're cutting heat transfer vinyl or any kind of adhesive vinyl, we don't want the machine to cut all the way through the vinyl or all the way through the carrier sheet. So the other great thing about our ScanNCut, in addition to the scanner, is we have a auto blade. So I can tell the machine here in tools, we have a setting called half cut. I have that on. That tells my machine that when it cuts, don't cut all the way through. I just want you to cut the top layer. I'm going to go ahead and hit start, but I'm not going to have them cut all this. I do have it cut to show you on camera, but I'm going to let you see it take its measurement. Well, you're not going to really see it take its measurement, but it will measure the depth of the mat, and then it will go over to my heat transfer vinyl and take a second measurement, and then it calculates how deep it needs to cut, knowing that I don't want it to cut all the way through the heat transfer vinyl. So I'm going to stop it and tell it to quit. I don't need all of them cut a second time. And one last camera change.
Here's a question from Mary. What side of the vinyl is face down?
Face down is going to be the shiny side. So your vinyl will have a shiny, really smooth side. That goes face down. That's your carrier sheet.
Yep. Heat transfer vinyl.
So here is my heat transfer vinyl. I have weeded it, which means I have taken all of the parts of the vinyl off that I don't need. So I have my numbers, and when I turn them over, cut them out and turn them over, you can see that they are the correct direction. So all I do is I cut out the individual numbers that I want to use, and I put them on.
My goodness.
Put them on, keep the carrier sheet on, use your iron. I always put a piece of pressing cloth or applique pressing sheet over, heat it with the iron. With the Brother heat transfer vinyl, you do want to let it cool all the way before you pull your carrier sheet off. But then you can do all 25 of your little Mickey heads. And the very last step is, I lost my project here.
You know what would be so cute, Jennifer?
What's that?
If you put a little pocket on the back to put the excess Mickey heads.
That would be really a great idea. So I have attached my Mickeys here using the hook and loop tape or little dots. So all I need to do is put a hook and loop dot on the back of each of my Mickeys, and I can change them out. I think I put him on the ears too because I wasn't sure if he was going to sit. So I can put them just on the back, and then I can change them every day.
Sally says, love the sparkle felt with glitter vinyl. Me too. So cute.
All right, there's my project.
Oh,
I'm ready for Christmas.
Me too. Oh my goodness. That's so wonderful. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
You're so welcome. I know we went over our time a little bit, but
it was worth it. Oh,
I want to make sure to cover everything.
All right. Let's see. Here's one. When you make change, this is from Lady Fair. When you make changes, do you save your designs to the pocket in case you have to come back later to finish the stitch out?
I was talking
saving. Like I think when you were putting the Merry Christmas.
Yes, I would save it.
Yeah. Here's and just some comments that we got. Bruce Bolton says, great watching this. Thank you for watching. Judy says, I'm learning so much. Thank you, Judy. Oh my goodness. So we're about to do a giveaway, everyone. So if you haven't yet, please comment hashtag AllBrands to be eligible. It'll be a $50 allbrands.com. That's our website. E-gift card. And yes, everyone's just saying, thank you, wonderful. Thank you,
You're so
Jennifer.
welcome.
Thank you for the inspiration. This was a great tutorial. Oh my gosh, I agree. So while we're waiting for those last minute things to come in, don't forget everyone, we have 60 months financing from this Friday, which is tomorrow, October 7th through the 24th, 2022. And the machine that we learned about today is the Luminaire XP3. And we use the SDX 330D ScanNCut machine. And don't forget to come see us at the Houston International Quilt Festival. Just to remind you, Angela Wolf's going to be there. Cindy Hogan's going to be there. Wendy Chow, Emily Thompson, Joanne Banco, Reen Wilcoxon, and I saw her watching this video earlier. She was commenting.
I did too. Hi, Reen.
Carrie Cunningham, Becky Thompson from Power Tools with Thread, Stacy Donnell, Catherine from So Steady, Emily Dunlap from Laura Star, and Brother National Educators, Colleen Sweatman, Barbara Jones, Heather Banks, Barb Michaelajczyk. The owner of Sweet Pea Designs will be presenting on our stage. That's Emily Nash. And then Emily Cross will be in the brewer booth. And we are on the front row this year. So come and see us right to the left of the main entrance. And we are so excited. Hey, aren't you having another live show next Tuesday with Angela Wolf?
I am. I am going to be on the Brother Sews. I believe I'm going to be on the Brother Sews Crafts or Brother Crafts page with Angela Wolf. And we are going to be doing a Scan and Cut project using the new Artspira app. So I am ready for Christmas now, but I'm going to show you how to get ready for a little bit of Halloween.
Yes.
So the new app and the Scan and Cut.
Brother just came out with, and we just got in stock, a ton of these new Wi-Fi machines. So not only is it the Luminaire, the 10 needle, the Stellairs, the 3700D, the 1700D. There's now a new that replaced the PE800. It's called the PE900. That one's going to be wireless. We have an SE2000 that's wireless. We have 3 other models, and I think one of them is Disney, and they have 5x7 magnetic hoops on them. They're so cool. But all you have to do is go to your phone. Make sure you have a wireless machine first.
Yes.
Go to your phone, go to your app store, and type in Artspira and follow the prompts. It is cool.
It is so cool. So we're going to have some fun on Tuesday. So I hope some of you come and join us.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Cool. Thank you so much. Okay, let's give away. Here it is. And let me take off this overlay. And drum roll, please. And our winner is Deborah Torres. Congratulations, Deborah. Please email me at events@allbrands.com to claim your prize. And watch us every week for a chance to win. That was awesome.
Fun.
Loved it.
Congratulations, Deborah.
Yay. Oh my gosh. You're awesome, Jennifer. We really appreciate the inspiration and showing us all that's available with these really cool machines.
Oh, you're very welcome. I love it. I just love our machines.
Yay. All right. Well, we'll see you later on, and we really appreciate it. And we'll see everyone on our live show again next Thursday at 3:30. It'll be tons of fun. And I think we have Barb Michaelajczyk coming on the show. So
fun.
Very cool. All right, everybody.
All right.
Have a great
Bye.
holiday season. We will see you very soon.